YouTube has a new UI layout, and a lot of people are getting the update, and they're not super thrilled. A lot of people are upset with how it looks. There's some major concerns for the visual experience. I'm going to tell you right now at the bat, I'm not here to poo-poo the new UI layout. There's plenty of other folks who can do that more funny and humorously than I can. Doesn't mean that I won't comment on some of the good and the bad that results of something like this. It means that what I want to do today is talk about what it looks like. If you haven't seen it, we're going to take a look at what it looks like. And then we're going to talk about the difference between the old interface and the new interface. And then we're going to talk about what are some of the maybe benefits that you could behoove from as a creator, as a brand, and some of the cons to think through that maybe it's not in your control, but are a reality of this new setup. My YouTube has not changed yet. So this is what it currently looks like. So outside of some of the vidIQ stuff I have on here, you sometimes have an ad up here, but then you have suggested videos, whether it's shorts or obviously other videos. You have all of your features to join, subscribe, to like, share, etc. Super thanks. And then you have the description, which you can pop down, and then the comments, okay? I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here because you all have seen this, know this. This is not a comment. Now let's take a look. This is from a website called Android Authority. So I wanna give them a shout out because I don't have the new interface, so I can't navigate or click through it. And so I appreciate the picture. Here's the change. So in the Beyonce sense, instead of to the left, everything has gone to the right. Okay, to the right. Everything on YouTube has gone to the right. This is the new layout where the dramatic change just off the bat is the suggested videos are now underneath. The communication and interaction and buttonology, if you will, is on the right. So let's just walk this step by step. So real quick, what it was, where it's headed. You have the title, description, obviously subscribe, join, if there's a membership option, all of this available to the right. A shopping integration that would be underneath is now to the right. And then the comments are the highest they've been in a hot second. So the only time we've ever had comment interaction on the right on a YouTube video is really through a Premiere live chat, right? Through live stream or a Premiere. So that's the big change. It's also worth noting that it's not just the suggested videos are underneath, but the size difference is noticeable, right? I mean, these are pretty small. This is why you want your thumbnails to have pretty dramatically big text because, you know, you don't have a lot of real estate. Well, the real estate has increased, my friends, underneath this video pretty dramatically, by the way. So, and it's not just also real estate for you know, just videos. You have the live stream showing up there as well. I wouldn't be shocked if shorts somehow end up underneath there, but only time will tell. Now maybe an immediate question came to mind. Okay, what happens, because I like to view my videos in theater mode, right? So if I was to go and click theater mode here, it pushes everything down and it lets the video be the hero of the main screen, right? Well, if you go back to this website with the screen grabs of the new UI, it does the same thing, kind of, except you get more thumbnails and it really squishes that comment section and description and whatnot. So here's the immediate reaction, just based off what I'm seeing. Is, you know, and we know that the one thing that YouTube values the most is feedback loop, right? Essentially what I mean by that is that YouTube wants you to stay on YouTube. That is how they make the most money. So channels that are really good at the info cards, end cards, feedback loop on their own channel, or they tend to drive up more consumption of YouTube as a result of their channel, tend to do better because that's what YouTube wants. It's what advertisers want, more ads get seen, etc. So it makes sense that in this new UI, not saying I agree, but makes sense that they are giving you the maximum real estate to say, there's another video you can watch. You don't like this video, there's more videos, because I can see in this previous layout that, you know, you're watching, this really ain't for me. It's easier to click that tab, get out of there, versus clicking another video with the small real estate. Maybe I didn't take a gander over there. So this makes sense. There's also another interesting picture that I have not shown you yet that I'd like to show you now. So we go back to these pictures of the new UI layout. We're also seeing that call to action taking place on the right. So this is something that they've had, but I see this getting beefed up more. And this is where I want to talk about the changes that could behoove you as a brand or creator. Now, doesn't mean that I love it. It just means instead of sitting here and complaining about it the entire time, you can get that at other channels. You can see the dumpster fire going across the water. You can see people saying this sucks. You can see people highlighting, things like this where you can get to be the new YouTube layout. If that's what you want, and you want to bring it back to this, that is totally fine. It is your prerogative to do so. I am saying take opportunity by the reins and figure out how you can maximize the new UI for yourself instead of just being frustrated by it. Now, if you're just a consumer and this is what you want it, fine. But if you're a creator or a brand, you're doing yourself a disservice to just complain about the situation. So, heading back to this, I think YouTube, and I know this from knowing a good bit of people on YouTube, is the shopping experience, the click conversion, e-commerce experience is something that they wanted to build out more robustly, pretty dramatically, okay? So that's why with this integration of stores, you do affiliates, right? You can, for example, you have a cooking video, you can literally link to like every product you use in that video, right? If it's available in the store, and get commission off people converting through that. So it's making even affiliate links even easier. And then you have something like this where it's like, hey, you like this video, you could watch Silicon Valley right now, watch with Max, buy now, watch on YouTube. And here's why I'm saying this. So I have pulled up here. So they recently had their brand cast. And here's some realities about YouTube. YouTube is the #1 in streaming watch time, okay? It surpasses everything. Not like that, over 1 billion hours of YouTube is watched daily on connected televisions, okay? So obviously YouTube is primarily dominated by the mobile phone, okay? But we are now seeing that on a daily basis, people are watching 1 million hours on their TVs. And this goes back to co-viewing. Just to give you a fun stat. So I worked in the kids entertainment prior to going on my own. And we were noticing this trend towards what's called co-viewing. And co-viewing before the pandemic, parents would watch content with their kids, or there'd be a co-viewing experience about once a month. 73% about once a month co-viewing experience with their kids or friends. Post-pandemic, there's a co-viewing experience that's taking place 74% of the time, half of the time that YouTube's even on. So what I mean by that stat, which is a little bit confusing, is prior it was once in a blue moon. Now, basically, if YouTube is on, it's a co-viewing experience that's taking place on the television, tablet, and mobile over half the time. So it makes sense that the UI is perhaps leaning towards those conversions that happen maybe more seamlessly, easily on a TV interface, to have things that connect better with YouTube TV. I don't know all that YouTube is thinking, but it does make sense that the stats are leaning towards, hey, connected TV is on the rise. YouTube is dominating the TV platform. YouTube TV is really making its way. I mean, it's basically the new cable. And so now they have an interface that better behooves it. Now, we've talked a lot about what has changed. What is it behooving to you as a creator and brand? Well, first and foremost, the shopping experience is a lot more accessible, okay? You know that if I was to try to see the shop here, which I don't know why it's not necessarily loading at this moment in time, but if I was to try to see the shop here, it would be underneath, right? So in theory, I would see a glimpse of it when I load in, but outside of that, I have to scroll and make that decision. It's visible right here. So for you as a creator, where, by the way, you get a lot more of the revenue from this integrated shopping than you do with, watch ads, this is something that I think is going to behoove you as a creator brand, right? And you can get bespoke with that shopping to the video or have certain things displaying. This is helpful. This is in line with what they're trying to do. Another positive I see here is, this, if I wanted to comment and say this is a great video, I have to scroll down and actively do so. Now, you don't have to. You can engage in a more of a live chat feel than ever before. So how is this behooving you as a creator brand? Well, pinned comment is awesome, right? If you're able to pin a comment to the top, you can have a CTA to something, whatever you're promoting, newsletter, course, etc., right there, immediately visible, unlike in the description that regardless of either UI experience, yeah, maybe you have that link right there, but it's all the rest of it's been hidden. You can just put it right there. Knowing that, I think you get to see the super thanks engagement or people giving a little bit more seamlessly in this UI experience. So that is my, so what I'm saying, the optimization is, okay, he does a tech channel, he's got his own personal product, but maybe there's a one-for-one where you can see the affiliate links immediately with the cooking video that's taking place here. Perhaps you're seeing your pinned comment to your recipe book, right? I know I'm using the cooking example, but it's a good example for what you could use across the board. So these are potentially beneficial things, although I will acknowledge a very overstimulating experience. Now, where's the cons? I will say it's easier to click off your video than ever in this setup. It's just true, especially in theater mode. You're really not hitting in theater mode. I've got 10 options in this view of something else that might better grab my attention. I don't want to go down the road of my thoughts on instant gratification and the way that we consume media in our current age, but I see this being negative. I also see potentially a deprioritization of the description experience. I know that descriptions can be beneficial for algorithmic placement and getting things blah 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 socials, but man, it's getting a lot smaller. It's really small here. It's small here. I mean, it's still viewable, but it's definitely not taking the real estate that it once did. And you wonder how quickly things truncate versus this experience, right? Where you have lines that can go out. Will we have like really, there's just some thoughts that I'm not sure how that's going to look. And then furthermore, I'm talking about how it benefits obviously us as creators and brands, but what is the experience when it comes to ads, call to actions for streaming, a subscription? I don't know. So there's definitely some question marks. If this is the new UI, it's the reality you're living in. And there's immediate benefits. It is, you can engage with your audience pretty emphatically where it's been placed. Your e-commerce is more accessible than ever. There might be commissionable opportunities when it comes to things that connect to YouTube TV, other services. And so that can be a positive thing. Another thing is, if you thought your thumbnails didn't have a chance, there's more real estate for thumbnails to help drive potential traffic from other videos to your video. YouTube is a competitive place. And so, in that situation where it's a lot bigger, maybe you get your thumbnail a lot more of a chance to be seen in fullness versus, how small it is in the home page and on the suggested view bar. I would say, I didn't see hashtags there. I don't know how hashtags work in this new interface. Not that they make a huge difference in the viewing experience. All that being said, listen, these things get updated. This has not been rolled out across the board. It's a look. I will acknowledge that it's not my favorite look. Anything new, change tends to be inside a visceral reaction. What I will say though is it could still behoove you. So if this is the way we're headed, those are some immediate ways that you can make it work for you right away. And I'm interested to see if this is our new UI layout for the future. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, you can do all the things that make me happy with subscribing and whatnot. And enjoy the new YouTube layout. Talk to you later.